Your WavyOcho, I'm gonna react to Tupac versus Mac Dre, the beef that almost got deadly.
Every hip hop fan knows about the beef that Tupac had with East Coast rappers like Biggie Smalls and
I didn't know he had beef with Mac Dre, but I definitely know he had beef with Biggie, and I think he had one with Nas and all that. Mob Deep.
Diddy. But many don't know that before Pac blew up, he also had a beef with another West Coast legend, Mac Dre. Pac and Mac Dre started out as homies, but today we're breaking down their wild beef that almost turned deadly. Even though Tupac was known for repping the West Coast, he was actually born in New York City and later moved to Baltimore. His mom, Afeni, had a bad addiction to crack, and by the time Pac was in high school, it was only getting worse. In 1988, when Pac first came to the West Coast, his mom was struggling to find work and moved the family to a suburb of Oakland called Marin City. She couldn't take care of the family because of the crack addiction, so for a while, Pac moved out to live with some friends in an abandoned apartment and sold drugs to afford food. He already had one foot in the streets, but Pac was still trying hard at school. Before moving to the West Coast, Pac went to the Baltimore School for the Arts, where he met Jada Pinkett Smith, Tamil Pius.
And Jada Pinkett Smith cannot stop speaking on Tupac, bro. Like I understand, like you mad at him and all that stuff. Y'all was friends and all that stuff, but Will Smith is your husband, bro. Tupac is not, bro. Come on.
High School in Mill Valley was also known as one of the best schools in the country, and Pac was one of the only black kids. So, he was living a double life where he was getting deeper in the streets, but still going to a famous school where he was studying to be an actor. He could have gone straight into making movies, but Pac started rapping instead. He ended up dropping out of school, and that's when he got involved with the local rap game. In the late 80s, there was an underground rap scene making waves in the Bay Area, and Pac first started rapping under the name MC New York in 1989.
MC New
After
York.
dropping out of high school, he started going to a poetry class held by a woman named Layla Steinberg. Layla saw a lot of potential in Pac, so she started mentoring him and agreed to be his manager. Pac also started a group with two other Marin City artists named Ray Love and DJ Dizzy, which they called Strictly Dope. With Layla's help, Pac put together his first concert with Strictly Dope and got hooked up with Antron Gregory. Antron managed a hip-hop group from Oakland called Digital Underground. He also realized that Pac had potential, so Antron gave Pac his first job in the entertainment industry as a roadie and backup dancer for the group. After that, Antron convinced Chopmaster Jay, one of the founders of Digital Underground, to help Tupac, Ray Love, and DJ Dizzy learn how to record in the studio, which would become some of Tupac's earliest recordings. Digital Underground scored a major hit in 1990 with the Humpty Dance, which reached number 11 on Billboard and earned him a deal with Interscope Records. The next year, Tupac made his debut under his official stage name on the track Same Song, and he started getting noticed by other artists who were doing their thing in the Bay Area. Before Tupac was discovered, another rapper was blowing up in the Bay, Mac Dre. Mac Dre was a rapper from Vallejo.
Yo, I never heard of Mac Dre. I'm not gonna lie, I never heard of his music, all that, bro. That's just me, bro. But if y'all ever heard of Mac Dre, comment down below. How was he, bro? Was he nice and all that? Was he nice? Let me know. Or was he not? Let me know.
California, who was known for a cassette tape he self-released in high school called Too Hard for the Fucking Radio. Mac Dre and his crew, the Romper Room, used to open up for Digital Underground around the same time Pac was working as a backup dancer. Pac was connected to Mac Dre because Ray Love from Strictly Dope went to high school with his cousin, Carlos, aka Los. Los used to show Mac Dre's tapes to Ray and Tupac during their early recording sessions, and he was a major inspiration to the sound of Strictly Dope. When they first started doing shows, Mac Dre even joined them on stage even though he had a way bigger name back then. At first it was all love, but then the situation took a wild turn. Mac even gave Tupac props in an old interview clip and talked about how they were doing shows together back when people were really rapping. But even though they started out as friends, it wouldn't take long for their relationship to fall apart. Strictly Dope didn't last very long. They broke up after Tupac made his debut. Chopmaster Jay later said that during their early studio sessions, Pac didn't work well with the group and always had his own creative vision. So Pac went his own.
I mean, most rap groups don't even work out. Most rap groups don't work out like that much, bro. It don't work out, bro. That's what it seemed like.
And started working on his first solo album, Tupacalypse Now. So, without Ray Love, Tupac no longer had a direct connection to Mac Dre, and there are rumors they had a falling out that almost led to one of them getting killed. Tupac always had a strong personality and didn't always make him the easiest to get along with. Even though he was one of the hottest rappers on the West Coast, some of the OGs weren't feeling his style. His background as an actor made some people think he was soft, especially because he was first known in the Bay for being a backup dancer. One night, Pac and Mac Dre were both at a women's club in Vallejo. Mac's people didn't like the way Pac was acting in the club, and they started making comments and clowning him. That led to an altercation between Tupac and the Romper Room gang. Even though nothing serious happened that night, Tupac didn't let it go and even tried to get revenge. In an interview with Dizzler, one of Mac Dre's artists, Julio the Underdog, claimed that Tupac once set him up with a fake show in Marin City. He says they never really had beef with Tupac, but there was one situation that almost got serious. Pac was still mad about the fight at the women's club in Vallejo, so he decided to invite Mac Dre and the Romper Room to perform at a show he set up in an area called the Jungles in Marin City. Mac thought Pac was trying to make peace, so he accepted the offer, but right away, they knew something was off. Mac decided to bring the whole crew, and they filled up a yellow limousine and about 15 other cars to head down to Marin City. But on the way, one of the cars ended up crashing, and the limo broke down on the middle of a bridge. Mac came all the way out there and wanted to perform, so the crew decided to keep going. They left some of the homies behind to deal with the limo and hopped in another car to drive all the way into Marin City. They showed up to the venue rolling deep and were all rocking the Romper Room merch. But something about the vibe was off. Julio went into the crowd to see what was
Tupac was trying to line in or something like that, or some shit like that.
going on and saw a girl standing around waiting for the show to start. Even she thought something sketchy was happening. She started asking Julio if it was a real show because it felt like a setup. Tupac was nowhere to be found, and Julio started getting a bad feeling. So he went backstage to tell the rest of the Romper Room. But he didn't tell him anything because by the time he got to the back, there was a group of dudes standing outside the door screaming, "Fuck the Romper Room." Romper Room was trapped by a bunch of goons outside who were strapped up and ready for smoke. And that's when they realized it was all a setup. They knew they weren't going to win the fight, so Romper Room ran straight for their cars and dipped out. Luckily, they all made it back and no one got hurt, but they were basically cornered. Things could have gotten way more serious. Even though Pac tried to line them up, the beef never went further than that because not long after, Mac and a few other members of the Romper Room
Pac really was tight, bro. Pac was a hothead. Pac was on hots.
got caught up in a crazy situation that took him out of the game for the next few years. In March 1992, Mac and his homies Kilo Kurt and Jay Diggs decided to go on a road trip to Fresno to link up with a girl he met while performing a few weeks before. On the way back to Vallejo, they were suddenly surrounded by local cops and the FBI. The feds were tipped off that Kilo Kurt and Jay Diggs had been planning a bank robbery while Mac was busy at the motel with his girl. They had a fourth dude who was with them named Corey Dunn. Corey had been flipping to an informant by the FBI and was wearing a wire for the entire trip. Police allegedly heard Kilo Kurt and Jay Diggs planning the bank robbery, but they talked about it on the police scanner, which was picked up by the local media. The news crew showed up at the bank to get the story before the robbery even happened, which spooked the robbers. So, even though the robbery never actually happened, they were still arrested for conspiracy. Mac was at the hotel the entire time the robbery was being planned, but he refused to snitch on his friends and ended up getting charged with that. He also pissed off the Vallejo police by making a song called Punk Police, where he called them out for targeting him and even named the lead detective by name. On the track, he raps, "They roughin' and cuffin' me, in jail they be duffin' me. Every damn day, man, they can't get enough of me. I could maybe understand if I was breaking the law, and I'ma dedicate this to Detective McGraw. You be steady accusing, but these cases you losing. You be steady abusing, man, do you find it amusing?" Prosecutors didn't like that, so Mac ended up getting hit with a 5-year sentence, and both Kilo Kurt and Jay Diggs got 10 years each. So even though they were building a major buzz in the Bay Area, Mac Dre and the Romper Room had to put their careers on hold while they were locked up. Meanwhile, Tupac's career was going crazy. After the breakup of Strictly Dope, Pac started focusing on a solo career and even got back into acting by starring in the film Juice. Juice was an instant classic and helped expose Pac's music to more rap fans and made his career blow up. So, while Mac Dre was locked up, Tupac was on his way to becoming the hottest new rapper. Around that time, Pac also started kicking it with one of Mac's main rivals, E40. E40 was another rapper who was making waves in the Bay Area at the same time as Mac Dre in the Romper Room. E40 was also from Vallejo, but grew up in the Beverly Hills neighborhood, aka Hillside. Hillside is known to have problems with Country Club Crest, aka The Crest, the hood where Mac Dre grew up. So, they already had reasons not to like each other based on where they were from. According to E40, their problems were never personal, but they were both sucked into the beef because the people around them didn't get along. At the same time, they were two of the hottest rappers in Vallejo. Mac had Too Hard for the radio, and E40 had a song called Mr. Flamboyant. Hillside didn't like having a pop-up rapper from their enemy hood, so E40's cousin made a diss song about Mac Dre that started a back and forth beef. Mac dropped a track called On My Toes, where he took shots at E40, rapping, and Mr. Flamboyant is a song I'll never sing. I'm not with the click shit, I'm straight with the sick shit. And any South sucker, I'm ready to get with. So after Mac got locked up for the bank robbery, E40 will respond with the song Nut Ass Nigga. On the track, he raps, I said, wait a minute, baby, you mistaken me for Andrea. I'm not a failed tale rat head wannabe. I wouldn't rob a fucking bank for publicity. I get it honestly, legally, so have no fear. So even though E40 claims they had no issues with each other, he clearly felt some type of way. With Mac behind bars,
He didn't even say the nigga name, bro.
E40's career would explode, and he would take the Bay Area sound to a national level. He started getting respect from other West Coast artists, including the enemy of his enemy, Tupac. The same year E40 dropped his Mac Dre diss, Tupac dropped his second album, Strictly For My Niggas, where he gave E40 and the Click a shout out. On the track representing 93, he gave props to all the rappers and groups that influenced him. In the second verse, he rapped TLC, Eric B, Rakim, and Scarface, Stretch, Maj, Kalo, Pumping the Squad's bass, Thoroughheads, Punani Nans, The Click, E40, The Governor, and Richie Rich. E40 heard it and ended up getting in touch with Pac through an Oakland rapper, Richie Rich, who Pac also shouted out. They hit it off immediately, and Pac even ended up appearing in the video for E40's song, Practice Looking Hard. So, while Mac Dre and the Romper Room were locked up in the feds, Tupac and E40 took over the world. Pac and E40 easily could have teamed up and made sure Mac Dre never had a career by the time he got out. But luckily, it wasn't that serious, and they all squashed the beef not long after. Julio the Underdog claimed that while he was locked up, he actually spoke to Tupac on the phone through his homie EB. Pac told Julio that the show in Marin City was all a big misunderstanding and there were no hard feelings. At the time, Tupac was even helping direct a video for Mac Mall, another Bay Area rapper who had ties to Mac Dre and his label, Diz Entertainment. Pac even promised Julio that when he and Mac got out, they would all work together on something. Unfortunately, they never got the chance because Tupac was murdered in 1996, and Dre was not released from prison until 1998. When he got out, Mac took his music career to a new level and blew up even bigger than ever. But just as he was about to gain the recognition he deserved, Mac was also shot and killed after a performance in Kansas City, which is still unsolved to this day. A Tupac and Mac Dre collaboration would have been major for the culture, but unfortunately, they never had a chance to make it happen. Thankfully, their beef never got too serious, and they both left behind plenty of music that made a major impact on the sound of West Coast hip-hop.
Okay, that's the vid. So yeah, bro, let me know what y'all think about this beef, bro. Situation between involving Pac and Mac Dre. Also, rest in peace, Tupac, and rest in peace, Mac Dre. And comment down below what is your favorite song of both of them. You feel me? So yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes. Whoever checking out, you are.